Congratulations if you made it this far, and if you would, stay tuned, and I'm going to show you how to actually get your project from creating it, to the actual completion, and looking the correct way. Because if you worked really hard to make a design, then you don't want it to look like crap when you export it, okay? So, first things first, you need to know where you are taking your image. So is it going to screen? Is it going to print? That's the first big question. So in this case, let's say this is going to screen. Okay, I'm gonna pretend like it's going to screen. That means that my color mode needs to be RGB. So I double check right here. RGB is what it is. And then the second thing is, how am I using it in the screen mode? Do I need the white background? Do I need it to be see-through where everything is white, so all you can see is the text and the face? So that's what we want to deal with first. If you go up to File and Save As, what you're going to wind up doing is saving it as a working file. It's an Adobe Illustrator working file. So you can see here logo.ai. That is Adobe Illustrator, and that means that you can save it. It's almost like just like a Word document. It's the same thing, just AI. So it opens up in Illustrator. I'm not going to kind of beat a dead dog there. It's kind of self-explanatory. Now, if you want to export this, that is different than saving it. Okay, so I'm going to go to File, Export. If you want to save this as a JPEG or a PNG, then this is the way to do it. So I'm going to go to Desktop, and I'm going to save it as logo.png. Now, PNG, the reason I chose that is because that's what allows the background to be see-through. PNG is that kind of file. So if that's what you've been wondering for a long time, anytime you're doing a logo or whatever, if you want to get rid of that white box that's around your image, then PNG is what you're looking for. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to hit export, and then it gives me a couple of other options. So resolution, if it's going to be for screen, it should be because it's RGB, then 72 is what you want. Don't worry about that. And interlaced basically just means that if you're using this on a website and it's a fairly big image, what it'll do is it'll load a lower resolution and then kind of like rescan it and kind of bring it into the full resolution over time so that it loads faster. I tend to not like that. So background color here, you can also choose white or black or transparent. Transparent is what you're most likely looking for if you're using a PNG. So I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to go to my desktop where I saved it, and let's take a look and see what the logo looks like. Voila! So you can see that it's see-through where all of those areas that I want to have see-through. That is the beauty of a PNG. So let's go back into Illustrator. And here, I'm going to talk a little bit more about File, Export, and different file types. Now, we have JPEG, which is most of you are probably used to seeing the JPEG. That's like the kind of images that you would put up on Facebook, and a lot of your cameras probably take JPEG images. That's just a compressed file, a compressed image file. So it's a very small, lightweight file. If you're going to be doing, let's say, a Facebook, actually anything. If you're going to be doing like a profile picture for your business's Facebook page, then you're probably going to want to do JPEG and put a background on your logo. The next one, Photoshop. Now this is where I want you guys to pay attention, because you can export your Illustrator file as a Photoshop file. So this is where layers come in really, really important. So right here, I've already organized my layers. So tutorials is one. Worley is another, the word Worley. The eyebrows is another, and face is the last layer. Now, the reason I did that is because the intro video that you saw just a second ago, this is the file that I used to animate with. So, and again, I'll show you guys how to integrate that later in different series. But in this case, I have my files ready to go, and I'm going to go to File, Export, change this to Photoshop, and I'm going to go to my desktop here, and click on Export. RGB, and you do want to write layers. That's what's that's what's important. Preserve text editability. That is you can leave that checked. And then same thing with maximum editability. Hit OK. It's going to take a second, and I'm going to minimize, come out here, double click on logo.psd, which is a Photoshop document. And when it opens up in Photoshop, you'll be able to see that the layers are all separated out according to how I've made them. So now I can come in here and embellish them however I want. Now this is Photoshop, and that's going to be in the next series, so stay tuned for that, but that's not for right now. Close, don't save. Go back to Illustrator. And if you go to File, Save As, this is the last thing I want to talk to you about because it's important. If you go to, if you happen to, again, this is Save As, not Export. So File, Save As, Format. If you change this to PDF, here's where things can get a little confusing. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Save because this is just where I want to save it and what I want to call it and what file type it is. When I hit Save, it's going to bring up some other options. And this dialog box is very important to the actual file size as well as what you're actually able to preserve. So in this case, you have your options. This is Illustrator default. You can actually save the editing capabilities in a PDF file. So let's say you just want to show your client the file and show them, or show a friend that doesn't have Illustrator, then you can save it as a PDF and send it to them. But it's also a working file, so it's kind of hand in hand. And the reason that is because the PDF was kind of it's created by Adobe, so it's a Adobe PDF creator that they can do pretty much whatever they want. Now, doing this makes the file size really big. So you're most likely, depending on the size of your document, you're probably not going to be able to even attach that to an email. So you do want to be careful. If you just want to make it a PDF, you can uncheck that, and it's gonna make it a very high resolution image because a PDF is just that. It's a very, very high res type of document. You can also go into compression and all these different settings. Honestly, I'm not going to go into them much because the only thing that I worry about is either I want to write the layers or not write the layers. And then if I can also go to Adobe PDF preset, click on that. And if I want to do a high quality print or a press quality, smallest file size, whatever I need to do, the only things I really mess around with at all are this right here, the Preserve Illustrator editing possibilities or capabilities. And then sometimes I'll go to like high quality print if I know that I'm going to be printing. But other than that, this is fairly simple. This is what I want to make sure you knew. So I can save PDF. Yes, I know. Don't show again. I'm going to minimize, and there's my PDF. Okay, now because I unchecked it, I'm going to do Command I on the Mac to look at the information on here. You can see that the file size is 52 kilobytes. I'm going to go back in here, and I'm actually going to save it again as a PDF. I'm going to to PDF. And this time I'm going to preserve Illustrator editing capabilities. Okay. Minimize. Let's look at the difference in the file size. Command I. And there you go. 243 kilobytes. Yeah, that's not that big, and that's only because my image is not that big. So the bigger the size is, the larger the file is, and the harder it's going to be to move around. So that is kind of the basics of saving and exporting. And I am going to do a video on file organization. That is really, really important when you're doing design work and video work. And because Worley Tutorials is all about collaborating between video and design and different softwares, as well as different designers, then that is a tool that you really, really need to know, is how to organize your digital files and how to save them correctly. So, but that's for another day. You have now completed Adobe Illustrator Basics. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can contact me through the Connect page on worleytutorials.com. And of course, you can also comment down here below, and I will make sure to comment back if necessary. And other than that, please enjoy Illustrator, and stay tuned, because I'm going to be adding a whole lot more tutorials, and I'm excited to have this opportunity to be able to work on design and video with you guys.